Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. This is Kimberly and this is Journal Breeze. Today is a special day. It's the 29th of April and I am the host for Raindrop Lila's Spring Inspiration 2026 collaboration. I chose the prompt word. Ta-da! If you aren't already involved in Spring Inspiration, I hope you'll go into the description box below and you'll find the links and all the different wonderful, amazing creators that each had their own day. There's sometimes two on one day, and in fact there's two today, and her name also happens to be Kimberly. So have fun checking out other videos to get inspired. It doesn't matter that it ends tomorrow, people. This is something that you can look back. This prompt list is so generic. You can look back and get ideas anytime. And you can watch those videos, as you know, because they're always up. So it will be a great source of inspiration if you ask me. I am going to do a quick volume check on here. I don't want to be too loud. So hold on one second. Let's see. Let me turn this down a bit. For some reason there seems to be a hiss sometimes in the background. So I try to keep the volume lower on my end. Let me know if that's an issue for you. Anyway, everything, as I say, is listed. The digitals, the freebies, the calendar, although this is the second to last day. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful time. And I have been super inspired to make a journal that I have showed a few times now. But I want to show you that I changed the cover. I added a faux metal label that says Journey to my lady. Now she's Civil War era, original. It's truly a tin type from the Civil War with a little, I don't know, tin, cheap brass frame. I don't know. It was on it, and it's what you see the most when you look back at them from that time. And I didn't have something that could match to go under it, so that's why I didn't do it at the beginning. But I decided it really needed it. And I did put some, I don't think you can see it because I'm just using the sunlight, but I put some brass coloring or tin, as close as I could get, around the whole thing on the edges, and I do think that it does add, they both shine when you see it in person, so I like that. And then I glued down my cheesecloth a little bit. Anyway, the inspiration was never ending. I'm telling you, it has been consuming all my free time, absolutely 100% consuming all my free time. I've bookmarked 10 areas where I'm going to show you my word ideas, and I just love this journal beyond belief. I just didn't anticipate it being so creative for me and so inspiring and so fun. I jumped around. I did not answer the prompts in order at all because my pages are the original book pages. And so sometimes they were blank, sometimes there was pictures, sometimes there was words. So I was picking and choosing, where I wanted to put something. And some of the digitals from the kit called Spring Inspirations on Etsy, or SP 2026, I think is what it's called, were so great that I covered entire pages. But I don't want to show you everything because I want to do a walkthrough. I think it's really worth the time you might take to get some really cool ideas. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I did bookmark 10 areas where I used these word sheets in different ways. Let me turn my timer on here. Okay. So, this is one small example of gives you an idea a little bit when you see these where I was going. Now I backed this with one of the what are they called? Those cards that come in the kit. Cabinet cards. This cabinet card went behind here. And this lace, I think, yeah, no, I cut it out and glued it on, I guess. So anyhow, I won't get caught up in the details. What I did was use these dies, cuts, metals. This is, just the plain squares, and these are the oval cornered ones. And I used all different combinations, and I'll show you because it depends on the word you're going to pick. And then this is from one of the Sizzix business ones where there was all kinds of things, file folders, labels, circle reinforcers. So it's an oddball shape, but it came in handy. And then I want to show you what the choices are if you want to use individual words. I will show you a couple places where I used individual words. The pages she provides in the kit of words are actually this size, okay, big. And I printed out everything at 5x7, 2 to a page, 5x7. That's what this is. So I found those to be more in keeping with what I wanted to do. But it's nice to have that choice, I think. So I also want to show you that I backed this one because I think it might be a cool frame also. But this is a beige, light ivory color cardstock. This is a darker beige cardstock. And this is a kind of a yellowy colored cardstock. I'm going to move these and let more light in. Hold on a sec here. I'm using all natural light today. Okay. All right. So they really give, I think, a wonderful array. Just a wonderful array of color choices. Yum, yum. Okay. And these were on the original white paper, just to give you some example of how different they are. The paper ones really are just so lightweight. They're hard to manipulate. Harder to manipulate than if you're using cardstock. You'll see what I mean after I get into some more examples. So I've got every size. I'm sure there's more ideas you could come up with. So what I want to show you is how you might go about finding, I'm going to show you my process of how I put these together. In other words, the steps. I didn't have anything picked out. I just took the sheet, and then let's just say I decided to use this big square here. Let's just say this would be easy, okay? Now, when I use these, it comes out, it gives me a frame that was inside. Well, I'm not going to talk about that. I'll talk about it when I get to one of them. All right, so I just went around, literally. I'll drop this lower for a minute, but I'm going to bring it back. Okay? Like, I love the word mindful. Just love it. And herbal tea. And then down here would be cottagecore. Whoopsie, already off the page. Okay. So, mindful. Oh, wait. No. Wait. This is the biggest one. Let's just do that. Okay. So, if I want mindful. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, this is... it's confusing me. What am I doing? Okay. All right. I've got it now. Okay. So, mindful would be there. And then herbal tea, milk, bless, could possibly show up too by putting this. I gotta get over to get the blessing. So then there's the possibility of going smaller. This is how you do it. So when you cut 2 frames in a row, there we go. Now I've got herbal tea, dresses, mindful, tree blossoms, herbs, fresh bread. You can kind of guess what that's going to be. And all of Bless gets in. So that would be ideal in my opinion. What won't be in this cut is rocking chair harvest, rocking chair foraging, and orchard. Okay? Those will not be in this cut because this part will come out and you'll have this frame. Now if I were to use an oval, rounded corner square, see, this is where that oddball one comes in handy. That's a good one. And it can go this way. And I think that looks really good. I like it a lot. I like the difference with the corners. Or it can go this way. If there were cool words on the side, that would be the way to go. Let's do strawberries, lavender. Let's see if we can get cool sides here. I also like orchard and blessings a lot. So, again, I can get a lot of mindful in, but not completely. Well, mind can get in there, which I like. All right, so you'll see as we go along, I will point out as we go along the different words I was able to get in. And you can also, it doesn't have to be these great big squares. I'll show you one that is just the tiniest little square you could ever imagine. I think I probably used this and this. And this is where, let's see, let's go somewhere else. Crisp morning summer. I use that a lot. That's not showing up really great there, but what happens, just so you know, is that in this particular die, you end up getting a very skinny frame. Like this will produce a very, very skinny little frame. And on one of them, I was able to make use of that. And then you can also use the skinny frame to go one bigger, which I made use of, but not here. I will show you that in the walkthrough. Okay. So I think you're getting the drift, and I don't want to make this too long for you. So I am going to now move on to showing you the examples, and I'll point out the words as we go. She really picked, I think, really some terrific words. I enjoyed so much making these. But let me just say, after I find the frame and my words and cut it out to make sure it worked out okay, then and only then did I find the picture. I didn't find pictures first, because when you finally see what the words are that show up, for me, it just seemed critical to come up with words that fit in it. I'll show you a couple of empty ones. Okay, so serenity, evening, grounded, nature journal, nature's therapy, quiet reflections. That's what showed up. So it's not a great one because it doesn't have anything down here or up here. But I use that a lot, so you'll see a lot of examples. Nature's therapy and quiet reflections I used all the time too. And then homegrown, secret garden, hidden treasure, harvest, milk, rocking, you know there's going to be a chair, reading, tree, blossom, baking, day, hidden treasure. I love these. So how fun. You know, you end up like finding a picture that fits one of these really strongly, and it just carries you the rest of the way. I spent hours making these, days making these. They were very inspiring and really fun. So you can now see how this one came together. Okay, it's the serenity, blessing. I was able to get in grounded with, nature's very grounding. Nature, journal, cabin living, you could be on vacation here. Cottage, garden, it doesn't really show that much, but a secret garden, it could be within these willow trees. Just loved it. And to have this little bitty lace, I must have glued it down under there from something else, and then have it on the blue, and then stitch this blue, have the turquoise showing around each side. I thought it was just precious. this journal is not a lot of blue, so I actually found no place to use it in the journal, but that's okay because I definitely will find a place to use it. I love it. Just love it. All right, so now to the examples. And as I say, they're all different sizes, so hang with me. Don't think you know it and go. Just hang with me because there's going to be so many cool examples. It's going to be fun. All right, so example number 1 is right here. I guess I will come down one more. Okay. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that page. It might be for journaling or a poem. But this lady was placed in this frame that was on this wilderness scene. And to put her over here wouldn't work for me because she's looking out that way. So this is from one of Lydia's kits from before. It's called Timeless Patterns, I think is what it's called. And I used a lot of it in here. If it's not timeless, it's Timeless Patterns. She's got 2 kits with those names. So, I think it's timeless. Yeah, I think the patterns are background pictures. So here we go. So this is from the kit. I've used her kits mostly in here, especially on the ones I'm showing you. But look, we've got cooking, reading, strawberries, foraging. She's foraging. Family. She's obviously got a family. Mushrooms, in the wild, embroidery, rocking chair, beauty. Remember, my journal is a farm country journal, 1925 circa. Pre-Depression, Great Depression. So I just think all these words just say what life was like back then for people living in the country. And backed it with some paper. And I think it's a great use of that paper. Oh, did you notice the stitching I did? The cute little flower stitching? I think that added a lot and allowed me to play with my machine, which I hadn't ever played with those stitches before. All right, example 2. Oh, this is the little example. This is the little example, okay? So this is literally the back of what came out of the center. So if you could see it, there would be word pieces on there. And I had used a piece of cardstock that I'd already decided I didn't want to use. So I used it as the one to, it's on the back. So this little frame sticks up on top. The word vintage came through, and I just had to use it. Cottage garden, flower. This looks floral, right? Journal. Love that word. Home. The simple life. Quiet moments. It's just adorable. I love it. And this page, I needed something that was shorter so that all of that would show. I had showed this page before, and I'll go into it again later. Okay, I'm going to do the flip through. All right. And now we have another piece of that paper from Timeless. And these ladies have predominantly foraging. That's what made me pick this out. And this is corn, mushrooms, sunflower, natural living, botany. These are a couple of stickers that I thought were perfect for this. And I believe this picture, if I didn't get it from her sepia kit, then I got most of them from Graphics Fairy, premium site, sorry to say, for those of you not in it. But she's got some great things in her sepia collection, and I think she has another photo collection as well. So I thought that was perfect for this. And here's another way to use it. It's not a frame. I just pieced together bottom, top, and put this in there. Because it said cooking so big, and together I put in 2 vintage recipe cards that I thought were fun. Popovers and sweet cornbread. I put them there in part because I'm thinking I might just try to make them. They're from an award-winning book. All right, this one, I love how this one turned out. Just love it. It's another tiny one. It's the oval cornered frame with the little square. Actually, that's not true. She's on a tag that's in the kit. The tag also has these as part of it. So I cut these out, or her face was up against something. I think I saved a tag, but rummaging would take me forever. I know that I cut this out, and I know that I cut this out. Okay, this might have been on the tag, the base, the part going around. And then this I cut out from down here. That's how it went. And I glued that on, which covered up the top of this. But sun hat is what started it all. Sun hat. She's got a sun hat. And she's yellow looking, with the sun hat that way. And I loved these pieces that were in the tag, but the tag was bigger. The frame didn't look that good on the tag as a whole. So I just cut everything around, and this is the size I ended up with. And it slips in here, and she's next to the yellow flower. Hope you're liking these ideas. Let's see. Okay. Now, this is another one for words. It doesn't have to do with the word pieces. I put together a poem from her perspective, okay? And I asked for AI help. So between AI and me, I actually thought AI would bring up one that existed, but no, it doesn't. It brings up stuff that isn't out there, so it has no name associated with it. So I felt at liberty to change it up. And I actually combined several of them together and changed them also. So that was kind of fun. And then I just printed them out on coffee dyed paper. I wanted this dog to show on the original. And so don't hesitate to use poems. We like quotes, but poems are longer, and when you've got big corner pockets, it's fun to squeeze them in, I think. And this is the next one. Another big one. More of the machine stitching. You can see the leaves. I put them in different places where the words weren't going to be covered over, because I found out that when you cover over the words, you really can't read them anymore. And I did not use a darker thread. I know you're probably shouting at me, but I wanted the words to be the star. I love words. I just love this whole concept because of my love for reading and words. And I think it shows up enough in person. So here she is with her cow. This is definitely Graphics Fairy. And lavender, sweet home, bird watching, wildlife, tree, picnic, journal, nurture, quiet reflections, apron, milk, celebrate simplicity, tea. I mean, people, this is such a great selection of cards. And then I backed it. Oops, you've seen that. Okay. Now this was a fun one. This ended up being a little more ingenious in how ingenious, sorry, I'm not meaning to sound like that, but it was ingenious for me. Because I tend to, stop short of taking things all the way sometimes. This is very much textured paper. The light is so bright from the skylight, which is to my left, which is over here, which might be to your right. This is real plant in handmade paper. I found a whole stack of envelopes I have that I completely forgot about in one of my drawers. Literally an entire stack. I'm so excited. And they used all different flowers and weeds to put in them. These are loose. You can actually feel them. And so I wanted to use it somehow. Okay. So you bring this down and you have more of the incredible envelope showing. I've got things in the pockets, which I'll show you in a minute. And then you pull on this string, and up comes another card. Isn't that fun? So this was a picture from, I think it's from Graphics Fairy. It might be from one of the cabinet cards. And then this little quote, to make living itself an art. And, faux tape. I put a lot of faux tape in here. Sometimes it's serving a purpose. Sometimes it's just for the feel and the look. And I aged this quite a bit. I used 2 different Tim Holtz Distress Sprays. And Rustic. That's what led me. Rustic Cottage Garden. From there, I just went directly to this picture. Ivy fits it. I put this where there isn't too much stuff. Tree, journal, flowers. Just love it. And then this, in case you didn't notice, this is a little tricky to get back in because it's pretty much the right size. There we go. This says Homemaker and Greenhouse. Harvest Milk and Eggs. Again, that whole farm feel. I think this is so cool. And then in here, I used the individual words, cut that down to a smaller size, Exploring Nature's Wonder, which is one of her papers, and Among the Wildflowers. Back them with another of my favorite papers. This is the one on the cover. I just love these. I think the color, I think the feel is really great with this page, where I glued on some real petals from my yard. So there you go. I just love how this came together. Love how this came together. Took me a while to figure it out, but I did. I don't usually do stuff like this in a journal because they stick out so far. But this journal was already sticking out so far. I figured what's a little more to have it be fun like this. And again, I just don't do it very often, so that was fun for me. Oops. Wait a minute. Here we go. Okay. This is another part of that envelope. Oh, okay. I'll show you that when we do the walkthrough. Here we go. I did this whole collage page, and I just love it. And it's all about words. Words on all different types of things. Because it said baking day, and she was getting ready. She was having her Kellogg's Rice Krispies. This is a picture from the sepia kit from Lidia. So baking day, milk, apron, of course, blessing, serenity, fresh bread, grounded, quiet reflections, nurture. She's nurturing her family. Then I found this recipe in my collection. It says Brazil square cookies, 10/7/56. And then I came across this newspaper that was with my recipe. Brazil nuts rate high as a gift. Oh my gosh, I just love it. And then this is from Lidia. This is a bingo card I had on hand. And this is another recipe card. And I just think that's fantastic. So don't hesitate to use your words to form an incredible collage under this if you choose to. I love how that turned out. And then this is my last one, and I just think it's such a hoot. First of all, they're up above the sky. And so when I made this back page of the journal, I cut out around this raised label that came from the person who sold this book originally in 1926. And the little squirrel's there, and they're looking down at that little squirrel. So I thought it was really cute on that page. But when you get a closer look at this this is the page. I aged it. And I also used watercolor pencil to color the squirrel and to put color on the leaves. And I aged it up a bit. I think it turned out nicely. I'm happy with it. But look at this funny picture. Take a look at this funny picture. The picture itself. This is from Graphics Fairy. When you go up on these, you keep going up. Keep going up. What's all this black? Oh, there's a string. There's one of the wires. Going over there. Going over there. What's up there? What's up at the top? Are those gears? Is this being held up by strings on a fake background? Yes! Oh my God. Either they're dressed up in costumes that look like they're from like 1875 or they're from 1875. Any way you look at it, this is what photographers would do to go to the lengths of making it look like they were in different backgrounds than they were. So normally the frame would go down to here, maybe even here, and then you would never know. It could even go down to here, although it looks somewhat like a set of bars. So let's just say it goes up to here. Who knows? I don't know, because I don't know what a real old one would look like. But I just laughed my face off when I saw that. The background, you see a town back there, and they've got clouds like they're above the clouds. What a hoot. They look so unhappy. Look at these people. Just the most unhappy people. Miserable. They're probably thinking, who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? So that's what I have to share to you today for words. I really hope that you enjoyed looking at the words. I hope you'll take these sheets and play with them yourself. Honestly, the options are just endless. After a while, it started to get a little repetitive, but the words I got repetitive on, I really loved. And, depending on where you start and depending on the size of your frame. And then remember, here's one I did that's this shape. So you can always go in a lengthy shape. You don't have to go in a square shape. And then I showed you that one. But what happens too, and don't forget to use these, is that you end up getting these middles. And they can come in handy on different tags altogether. They don't have to be used as part of this. Look at this one. Berries, lavender, herbal tea, a secret garden, and celebrate. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Okay. Secret garden, berries, lavender, herbal tea, celebrate simplicity, baking. What a cool, it's just so cool. It's definitely going to go on a tag. Front porch, quiet moments. This is harmony, this simple life. Tree blossoms in the wild, handmade, cottage. You gotta love these words. They could be journal prompts. Strawberries, lavender, mindful, herbal tea, beautiful, celebrate simplicity. Nurture and bloom. You just gotta realize you got a minefield here of inspiration. It is a blast. If you think it looks complicated, it isn't. Just pick a size frame, stick it on the page, and it'll speak to you. I promise. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I was just thrilled to be asked by Lidia to be a part of it, and I'm just really excited about what I'm going to do with these going down the road, and I hope that you will find the same enthusiasm. Please tag me if you do, and I love to hear from you in the comments. Again, everything is in the description box below, and I am thrilled to be amongst the women that are hosting these and hope that you will check them out. All right, you guys, take care, have fun creating, enjoy it all, and I'll see you next time.